After 2 years, Paperclay is soon finished. It's almost not a lie since it looks like this, but it also looks like this. You can complete the game, but it's not ready for release, obviously. I'm slowly getting there and it's very exciting for me. Hello, my name is Kevin and I'm the creator of Paperclay, a 3D collectathon set in a world that's made out of cardboard and paper and other handcrafted materials. An adventure that will rotate the world around you, unfold at your very feet in order to progress, meet interesting characters.
Ahoy, little chickens! Welcome to my cave!
Or even questionable characters.
Oh, visitors! How thrilling! It's been ages since anyone's come around here.
I want to walk you through this 2-year journey. At first, I really thought I would release early 2024, where we are now, but along the project, I felt that I owed it to Paperclay and also myself to push myself and grow as a developer in ways I didn't think I could do. I will show you my fast workflow and share some of my thinking when it comes to prioritizing tasks during the development. This all started with a run animation. I wanted to get better at making 3D, and people like the running chicken, so I decided to quickly try and make sure you can control him as well. I'm often drawn to trying new things, so making my own character controller with my own physics was the perfect idea for this thing that definitely should not be a real project. I released a small playground level and people seem to love it. To not get too sidetracked, I decided to try and make the art for this idea as well. That's when another wave of attention came, but this time it was more from the publishers. Long story short, I decided not to go with any publishers. I had some meetings, but I didn't want to pursue it at the time. They wanted to know my plans and timeline and so on. That got me thinking, how should the game flow work? Because I was only planning like 1 week ahead at the time. I had no idea. I had some questions that I wanted to answer though. Is there another game where I like their flow? And could I create that kind of game as a solo developer? And was there demand for that type of game as well? I ended up splitting the game into worlds. Each world had a hub area that you could explore freely at your own pace and talk with characters, find secrets, and collect everything. Then, by helping characters, you get orbs. And with these orbs, you could enter linear levels that had a similar theme with the current world that you're in. These levels vary from one another in some way. Some might be more story focused while others are more platform heavy. The goal is to get a good flow and variation in the bigger picture. I should mention that some details here didn't come at this point in time, but grew as I worked on the project and let ideas marinate. This is a thing I've started saying because I've noticed that's how I like to do certain things. Prepare something to a point and then let ideas around it linger before I decide. So, marinating ideas is my new thing. At this point, I worked on the game for 5 months or so, and I tried to make a few different areas to test what my skills could do, and then an opportunity to showcase the game appeared. So I prepared a trailer and the Steam page so people could start wishlisting it. A link to the Steam page down below if you want to do that yourself, and I really appreciate it. The showcase was some sort of milestone, but I felt like it didn't have a proper level yet. I asked myself, what are the bigger problems I would run into with making a full level? The short answer, it was the walls. That's where my environmental decoration skills came to a halt for a bit. With a mix of imagination and panic, I tried to find ways where I could remove walls and just use fog to create variation. On this level, I also tried voice acting. It was really fun and I couldn't see the game without it. Here are some examples from the pirate level.
Whoa, look at that ship. It's huge. I wonder how I could get up there.
I felt like the pirate level took way too long, almost 2 months or so. It was around that time I worked on the game for 1 year. So Paperclay needed a small facelift. I went over the 3 C's: character, controls, and camera. I made sure that the camera didn't properly follow you in height until you were on the ground, which made it easier for people to land where they wanted to. I moved the focus point a little bit over the player so you could see more of the world. Went over some of the movement speed and also some lingering issues like following along the platform you were standing on properly, and also if you hang on the edge. That was a fun thing to solve and I'm really happy with the result. Going over all of this made me feel good and their creativity started flowing. I had an idea of unfolding a platform as you got close. This is what I got at the start. Okay, not that bad. I played around with the idea and created different structures to fully test it out. Let me know what you think. Shortly thereafter, I thought of a house structure that would extend as you got close. While I haven't made anything more with it other than this idea here, I know that it would be cool once I dive deeper into this. For now, this idea is marinating. I think we're about 1.5 years into the project now. I felt like it was about time to actually start putting the pieces together to get a sense if the structure of the game would be fun. Be able to try these ideas I've had in my mind for a while, so I started working on the hub of the first world. I knew going into this it would reveal some new stuff I'd have to tackle. Hopefully, the biggest hurdle would be to create one hub, and eventually the rest of the hubs wouldn't introduce too many big stuff. This is also a way for me to further down the line estimate how long I had left if I knew how long it took to make levels. But of course, the hub took a while to build, so I invested in some workflow improvements. The biggest improvement by far was taking the platforms from a blocked version to a decorated platform within seconds. In short, I move clockwise around the shapes and grab all corner points, feed that into a spline. The model that gets repeated around is a tall wall with a top corner piece as well. The top plane uses the corner points and just creates a custom plane. First iteration of the platforms used to take about 50 minutes to fully decorate on my own. Now it's less than a minute. I got this idea from a project I worked on as a level designer, Go Mecha Ball. They had a similar system but with tiles that really impressed me. Link down below if you want to know more about this game. Second thing I did to improve my workflow was the decoration department. It might not be perfect, but it speeds up the iteration at least for playtest purposes. I randomized between different setups based on the position of an object has in world space. I think it works great, at least for now. Again, another idea that might be marinating. I had made these books that were falling from the sky to create stacks of books, which made me think of a forest made out of books. Gave it a go and quickly thought that I could create some crazy shapes. Running around here made me feel small as I explored this level, and that was a feeling I really liked. It's also how we entered the diorama era of the project. I tried to recreate that magical feeling of the book forest in an underwater level. Of course, your physics aren't affected since it's not really underwater. The world is still cardboard and paper, but I kept going and I created more dioramas to get a sense of what I was capable of. Since I'm still not as confident in my 3D skills as other departments of game dev, it was easier for me to create dioramas of areas and then look at ideas I've written down throughout the whole development and fit them into dioramas that were good enough and were a great fit overall. I decided to go full time during the last month before I reached 2 years of development for Paperclay. I focused this time to take one of the dioramas and create a level for the first world. While working on it during a live stream, I came up with some personality traits for the character of this idea, fleshed out the dialogues, and at this point I reached out to someone I worked with before, Kellen Goff. In my world, he's one of the most talented out there, and I wanted to find a great fit for him for a while. I just need to go over the animation and try to match the level that he delivers his lines on. This was, however, a new experience for me, be on a call and steer the direction for a bit. Of course, Kellen took my dialogue to another level on his own. I just had small pointers here and there for a vision I had. I went in with some written ideas for how certain lines should be delivered, and some stuff was just in the moment ideas that we tried out and worked. My face was hurting from smiling for the entire call, a really cool experience. During this time, I also gave the character a small facelift once again. Maybe this is a thing I do each year? I don't know. Biggest change was the gravity. It feels so much better now that I'm used to it. Here's a comparison side by side. On the left side you can see the old gravity, and on the right side you can see the new gravity. Tweak the ground pound animation and also the jump that you do afterwards, which is currently the same as a triple jump you can do by jumping right as you land. This is more or less 2 years of work outside of my day job. Many people have asked when it's releasing. And as I mentioned at the start, when I decided to fully make this game, I had about 2 years of development in mind, but I need more time. Don't worry though, you will not miss when the release date is revealed because it will be all I'm going to talk about. Right now I can play through the game, some levels are just gray box while others almost completely finished. It's very exciting to see someone play through a chunk of the game and just enjoy it. I appreciate you for watching. I love working on Paperclay, it brings me a lot of joy. Take care friend, and I'll see you later.